Sure. Opioids are very specific drugs. They're very old drugs. Could date all the way back to the several ancient Chinese dynasties. They predominantly come from the poppy plant. Heroin comes from the poppy plant. And there are very specific opioid receptors in your brain that affect different things, mostly pain control. So they're mostly used for pain control. But they also are in areas of the brain that cause addiction as well. And they also develop a tolerance. So your threshold that you see, the dose that you see, say the first time you try it, to get high, has to continually go up to continue to get the same high. And the problem with that is that in the addicts, they escalate the doses to maintain the high, but then that doesn't really change how much is going to cause respiratory depression. So that's the big bad side effect, is it'll stop you from breathing very quickly. I think this is a problem that goes back as far as ancient China. So I mean, the addiction potential and the overdose potential has been there ever since time. So I don't think that's a new issue. I think the new issue is the fact that a lot of patients, particularly prescription drugs, there was sort of a movement, I would say, back in the mid to late 80s and early 90s about having very poor pain control. And so physicians were being bombarded by patients and the public and even guidelines that pain was not being managed correctly. And so I think that what you saw was that physicians in their effort, or not just physicians, but prescribers and healthcare practitioners in general, in their zeal to control pain, they started prescribing opioids more often. And again, because of the nature of the opioid, didn't control the pain. So there are now new studies that show that for most types of pain, opioids were great short term, but in the long term, unless you've got terminal cancer pain or like sickle cell crisis pain or certain types of pain, the opioids really don't work very well because you develop that tolerance.